Okay, this is Module 1, 1.04 for 7th grade. I am recording this, so please stay focused. As far as the chat, I'll turn the chat on for most of the activities. Some of those I will turn the chat off to make sure that you're paying attention. Please keep things focused in the chat and stay on task, okay? So it is Monday, and hopefully you have joined your homeroom. That's fine. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ariel. Thank you for letting me know. Hopefully you've joined your homeroom and done your homeroom live lesson. If not, you have it at some point today, so make sure you're checking in and doing your homeroom meeting at some point today. All right, so let's get started. I want you to have your notes and also have the lesson up for this week. We are going to focus on 1.04. All right. Alina, I can help you at the end, okay? All right, so let's take a look at 1.03 first. 1.03 is literary elements interacting. Okay? This you are going to do on your own. We are going to focus on 1.04 today. 1.03, just make sure that you read through the lesson and take your notes. You want to turn those objective into questions. And once you've gone through it, you've gone through all the activities, you've taken all your notes, then you want to go to Gradebook and take the quiz for 1.03 and repeat if necessary. Of course, if you do not do well on a quiz, you have the option to retake that quiz. We want you to reread the lesson, add to your notes before you retake that quiz. And you can retake the quiz up to 3 times. Okay? Thumbs up if you're good with 1.03. Ariel, it keeps going for you to raise a hand. Do you have a question? Okay. Must just be your computer. That's fine, sweetie. Awesome. Okay, so 1.03 you're doing on your own. We are really going to focus on 1.04 today because it gets a little complicated on submitting the assignment, so I want to go through it with you. So everybody take a look at 1.04 and look at 1.04 in your lessons. And you'll see that 1.04 is about summarizing. So when you look at 1.04, you'll see in the lower right-hand corner the preview for the assignment. And the preview for the assignment, it reads, at the end of this lesson, you will write your ideas about how theme develops in the story The Nest. Those of you who were with me last year, we did it based on the MEET in 6th grade. This year, we do something similar. We base it on a different story called The Nest. Okay? And if you're new, just hang on and we will get you exactly where you need to be. So everyone's looking at 1.04. Hopefully you pulled up a couple of tabs on your computer screen and you see the preview of the assignment. Give me a smiley face if everybody's there. They see on the lesson it looks like it's a roller coaster. Fabulous. Okay. So let's go to the next page and let's take a look at our objectives. So remember, when we're taking notes, because there's no guided notes for language arts, when we're taking notes, what we're doing is we're taking our objectives and we're turning those into a question. So after completing this lesson, you will be able to, and I added the highlights in yellow to turn those into a question. Can you identify elements of a plot? How do I determine a theme or central idea of a text? How can I analyze a theme's development over the course of a text? So you can tell you guys that you're looking at theme and plot elements. So 1.04 will be about theme and plot elements. And you'll read a story in 1.04 and you'll apply those. Okay, awesome. As far as tabs you should have open your lesson and your pace chart. So for 1.04, as you summarize, you're looking for the most important details, not your opinions, who the characters are, which events matter most, and the big idea. We talked about theme last week in 1.02. We're continuing theme with 1.04. We're looking at summarizing and plot. Okay, and this should be a good review, but we're going a little more in depth. Remember, I expect you to go through and read 1.04 on your own and take really good notes. This just serves as a brief overview so you understand what you're doing when you do lesson 1.4 on your own. Awesome. Elena, did you have a question? If you already did it, then this is a good review. Go ahead and put your question then. Okay. So for 1.04, and this is actually 7th grade is awesome because you guys do a lot of really good things. 1.04, you're going to read The Telltale Heart, an excerpt of it by Edgar Allan Poe to use as an example for the plot diagram. So as you go through 1.04, you read The Telltale Heart, which is this wonderfully creepy story by Edgar Allan Poe, okay? And then you'll do the examples for the plot diagram on that. And then for your assignment, you're going to read another short story called The Nest, and you'll write a paragraph plot summary and diagram, okay? So they give you an example using The Telltale Heart, and you go through that, and then you show what you've learned, and you apply it to The Nest. Yes, Elena, that's correct. But summarize is a part of it, so I wanted to review that, okay? So again, you're going to use The Telltale Heart, which is delightfully creepy. You'll love it for 1.04 as an example, and then you'll read the Nest for your assignment. Okay, and then at the end, and this is directly from your lesson, okay, what this does is this takes The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, and it does the graphic organizer for the plot. So it talks about your setting, where the story takes place. It talks about the protagonist, the conflict, the mood, the climax, falling action, resolution, and theme. This should be a review. If it's not a review, the lesson will go really in depth with this. So just make sure that if you're not familiar with falling action or mood, that you take really good notes. Even if it's something that you're familiar with, make sure you review it. Okay, the protagonist is the main character in the story. There's a conflict, the mood of the story. The climax is a high point of action. You have the falling action, what happens after the climax, and the resolution of the whole story. Okay, this is right from the lesson, so you can always copy this into your notes when you're going over and reading the lesson on your own. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if this is something that you've seen before, the graphic organizer or the plot diagram. Thumbs down if you're not too familiar with it, and that's okay. Awesome. It seems like most of you are familiar with it, so that's fantastic. So the next thing, now I want you to go in the other tab, I want you to go to the last page of your lesson. So go to page 12 of 1.04, and it should look like this. What is my assignment for 1.04? So everyone go to your lesson, go to the last page of 1.4, go to page 12, and look at what is my assignment for 1.04. You'll see it says number 1, read the lesson. Number 2, finish the activities in the lesson. Number 3, read the instructions, and that's underlined. Every time you see something underlined or highlighted or in a different color, you want to click on the hyperlink, because that's a hyperlink that will bring you to something important. And then it says save your work in your computer and submit. Okay? So it doesn't really give me the instructions. What I need to do is I need to go here and I need to click on the instructions. So I want all of you in your lesson on 1.04 to click on that word instructions. So everyone go and click on that word instructions, and your screen should look like this. Give me a thumbs up if on the lessons when you click instructions, this is what you get. The arrows won't be on there, but everything else should. Awesome. If you are stuck, you can hang out at the end and I will help you. Okay. So you will see that there's a couple of hyperlinks here. There's rubric that tells you exactly what you need to do to get an A. And then it says number 1, select the 1.04 worksheet. And then it goes on to give you the rest of the document. What do you need to do first? You need to select that worksheet. So I want everyone to click on number 1, click on 1.04 worksheet. And when you click on 1.04 worksheet, another window opens up and you get the story of the nest. Give me a smiley face if you were able to get there. Does anybody have questions? Speak now, speak up if you're not sure how we got there. Okay, a lot of you are pros at this. Okay, if you're late, we've gone over a lot. You might need to 4. We start right at noon. Okay. So 1.04, how theme develops. This is the story. And when you scroll down, you get a graphic organizer. Okay? These graphic organizers are really hard to turn into a Google Doc. So I did it for you. So now I want you to go to your pace chart. So to help you guys out and make it good, and make it easy, I want you guys to go to your pace chart. It might be glitching. I'm not getting it on my end. If it is, I'm sorry. Okay, so go to your pace chart. That's why it's really important to always look at your pace chart, because I try to help you out. Okay, so everyone go to your pace chart right now. Because if things are difficult, chances are I did something to help you out. So go to your pace chart. You'll see the recording from last week's there. And I want you to click on 1.04. Let's see who's there. Abigail's here, Ariel's here, Benjamin, Kai, Kayla, Rebecca. All right, there's more of you in here, so everyone go to your pace chart. That's why you want to check the pace chart, okay, Emma? Because it's been there. All right, everybody's at your pace chart. So the next thing I want you to do is, okay, go to your pace chart. We're giving everybody a minute. Okay, everyone's on the pace chart. All right, so click on 1.04 graphic organizer. That's actually on week 3. And I want you to click on it. And it should open up a new page, which is How Theme Develops Assignment 7th grade. Oh, I see a bunch of you on it. Good job, guys. Adeline, Ariel, Ava, Braylon, Kai, Kayla, Rebecca, Yamila, Ishmael, Nicole. Awesome. So now, you can't write on this, because if I allowed everyone to write on it, it would be chaos. So what you need to do is to make a copy of it. So what I want you to do is File, Make a Copy. So everyone do File, Make a Copy. Now when you make a copy, you want to rename it with your name. So put your last name, LA 1.04. I don't have anybody in here whose last name is Bailey, so I shouldn't get any that read Bailey. You want to make sure that you put your last name, LA for Language Arts, and then 1.04. Thumbs up when you've done that. How do you do that? File, make a copy. And if you have to go back to your paste chart, click on it. When it pulls up the document, file, make a copy. Awesome. All right. If it doesn't let you, I'll help you at the end. First and last name or first initial and last name? Okay. It does have the option to file, make a copy. If you're stuck, I'll help you at the end. Okay, awesome. So now you've got the first part of your assignment done. You have your Google document created. After you read 1.04, do your lessons. This is where you're going to come to fill out the plot diagram and to write your paragraph. So now let's go back and look at the rest of the directions for 1.04. So the rest of the directions tell you to read the story of the nest in the document. And then part 2, after you do the graphic organizer, write a paragraph explaining how theme develops in the story. Write a topic sentence that mentions the theme, title, and author. Then follow your graphic organizer. So you've already done the hard work. You'll do your graphic organizer and write your ideas about how the protagonist, antagonist, conflict, falling action, resolution, mood, and setting develop in the story. Be sure to include the theme, and then end with a sentence that restates your idea about theme. So there's a lot to this assignment. This is not just a quick assignment. You have to read the story, the nest. You have to do the graphic organizer. And then you have to write a paragraph containing all 4 of these things. Okay, remember you have until Friday at 4 to do this. But this is what you need to do. If you only do the graphic organizer, you only get half credit. If you just do the paragraph and not the graphic organizer, you only get half credit. You need to do all of this in order to get full credit on the assignment. So now let's look at the example summary. The example summary, you turn in both, it's one document. I want you to put the paragraph on the same page as a graphic organizer. That's why we made the Google Doc. Okay, so if you click back to your directions, I'm going to show you where I found it, right here. The directions on 1.04, excuse me, it says at the end on number 4, select here for review and example. So what this will do is this will give you a really good example. So when you click on that, let's look at the example. Here's an example summary. Oops, click too much. This is using the story One Goal. So it's not using the story The Nest, but it's using One Goal. But it's a similar one. So this is what your paragraph should look like. One Goal by Davis Grandy has a theme of teamwork is more important than individual success. The theme develops in the story as the protagonist, Shanice, faces off against the antagonist, Clara. It is a character versus character conflict as they battle each other for the final spot on the soccer team. The school setting provides Clara with many chances to taunt Shanice, and as the mood of the story turns anxious for the reader, Shanice stays focused on preparing for the tryout. In the climax, Shanice has a chance to kick a goal and make the team, but she passes to Clara and lets her score instead. In the falling action, the coach rewards Shanice's sense of teamwork by putting her on the team, and Clara gets in trouble for her bad behavior. In the resolution, they decide to be friends again. The author develops a theme perfectly by blending the literary devices to create a story where the protagonist learns an important lesson. So this is what your paragraph should look like. But of course, you're basing it on The Nest, the short story The Nest, but you want to make sure that it looks like this. So it should have the topic sentence. You should mention the literary devices, the protagonist, the conflict, the setting. This is what yours should look like. This is an A. A. Of course, this and the graphic organizer together. Questions? All right. So that's a lot of information that I gave you guys. So what you need to do now, and if you're stuck, you can stay and I will help you. You need to read the lesson. You need to finish the activities in the lesson. Need to make sure you answer your objective questions. That's your guided notes. And you want to go to assignment 1.04 and complete the plot diagram and paragraph. We've already set that up in the Google Doc for you. And then, and you guys that have been with me before, you know this, but you want to submit it to Gradebook as a PDF. But if you're new, remember, anytime you submit an assignment, you need to make sure that you turn it into a PDF. So you want to go File, Download as PDF. And what that will do in your Chromebook is that will then put that into your Google Drive, and you can access that when you upload into your gradebook. Okay. Questions on how to submit as a PDF? Okay. I just gave you guys a ton of information in a short little time period. Okay. If this is new to you, you can stay and I will help you. Remember, you have 1.03, which is a quiz to do this week. And then you have 1.04, which is the graphic organizer and the paragraph. It's quite a bit of work in language arts this week, so make sure that you are using your time wisely. Okay, so let's talk about some reminders. I'll put the Google form up for attendance in a minute. The link will be in the chat. Collaboration will be after attending 3 live lessons, so we'll worry about that in September. No live lessons the following 2 Mondays. We are off of school. I will send out a brief recording to help you out with the assignments. The next 2 Mondays, I'll probably send it out on Friday. So make sure you watch the recording before you sit down and do the lessons. Okay, but we won't have any live lessons since there won't be school. Grace period ends Friday. So please be on pace and passing in all of your classes. Super, super important that you are on pace and passing in all of your classes so you're not withdrawn. And if you need help, please call or text. All right.